Hello everybody, this is Simon and we're back with more Dark Souls 3 and a spear that is just slightly hovering behind my back. Amazing. I think we have some unfinished business here in Anolondo, so let's get to it, shall we? Oh yeah, I remember these guys. Don't remember this though, but fortunately don't have to because I got a hammer instead. I just tested this against these guys, so I'm rather confident. Even against the insane tracking this guy has, you can just keep hammering him. And that's how you do it. I've spent a lot of time on these stairs, because these are the two guys, and this guy if you are feeling saucy, to farm for the Dark Moonblade Covenant upgrade item. And the drop rate is hilariously bad. This guy has red eyes. It means he's stronger, which is bad for me. Fortunately, still got a hammer. I keep repeating myself, but it's a really, really good weapon. Let's see what it does against the boss of this place. But before we do that, we have a little more exploring to do. I do like the similarities to the original Anor Londo in that this door will never be opened, we will never know what's behind there, though it would have been interesting to see actually. And of course, this entire side of it is missing. Usually would have to progress there, but it's rather fortunate that we don't, because, you know, the archers have relocated down there, and it's a little more fair than it was in Dark Souls 1, to be sure. Also, there are no gargoyles. But what do we have here? A love of prism stones. And indeed, it is Anri. I think I forgot to check last time if we did actually get a sunlight medal for assisting Cirrus, but maybe this time I will think of checking it out. I mean, I could rewatch the video, but who has time for that? I really like this, and I wish there would have been more opportunities to do this actually, where you get summoned to an NPC's world,
I thought it might be you.
because this gives
Then
you
I'm
an
in
easy
creative
opportunity
horror.
to practice a
No,
boss
this only bolsters my
before you
resolve.
yourself have to jump into it blindly.
Lend me your strength. Help me vanquish Aldrich, the man from the
Oh, damage could be worse. For sure. Didn't really check if he got frostbitten, I don't think so. Let's see here. Maybe not on the first hit. Ah, for fuck's sake. Unfortunately, he shot them at Andre and not at me. Andre, please don't leave the arrows to me. Also, don't die to the arrows. I know it's hard to not die to the arrows. Almost. Of course, on the other end. Hey Henry, you wanna do the honors? Oh no, not the arrows. Okay, whatever, fuck it. Bye bye! Yeah, of course, the arrows, of course. I guess we don't get a sunlight medal then. Good job, Henry. You did well, and I was glad to be of assistance. Anyway, this should finish out Henry's questline, which is nice. And of course, you can only do that if you find the hidden assassin down in the Erithil Cathedral, which is super obscure, but you know how it is. And this even gives us back our Ember. Amazing. I will probably get invaded then. Even more amazing. Also, I got 30k souls, but let's just open up everything here and then spend them, shall we? Keep forgetting if anything is down here. I don't think so. Yeah, nothing. It's just empty. It's a bit of a shame. I think in Dark Souls 1 there is also a few suspiciously empty corners down there. And no Dragon's Lair Great Bow up on this ledge. Nothing further to here, but an old friend who is sadly dead. I think it makes sense that the coal is especially here, and this is one of the better moments in this revisit to Arno Londo, in my opinion. But if you haven't noticed yet, we are not here for the sentimentalities. We're here to smash things with our hammer, and I happen to know that we are pretty good at that. So let's continue on, shall we? Good thing we are so nimble despite our hammer. This is what having high vitality does to you. And also not getting too much damage because of a good armor. This is how I like it. Ah, amazing. Super amazing. You know, I played a bit of Demon's Souls now because I found out that I can actually emulate it on this laptop, which is super great. But in Demon's Souls, if someone is lying down after a backstab, you can absolutely just shoot them immediately, which might not be super balanced, but on the other hand, I'm not asking for balance in my games, I'm asking for fun. Therefore, point Demon's Souls' favor. Imho. Whee! This area could be worse. I think when you first encounter it coming in here, it's a little daunting to have all of these fireballs flying at you, and you keep getting worried by if the sludges will fall from the ceiling and kill you. But it's not actually that bad in my opinion. You just have to go for it more or less, and then things will clear up on their own. Oh hi. How can I miss these? Come on. Again with the gangly beasts that are far quicker than they have any right to be. And far harder to hit to boot. Come on! Yoo-hoo! Amazing. You know, I usually don't bother fighting this guy, especially in the darkness and the cramped quarters. What I instead do is open the door here real quick, because it has the same shortcut as in Dark Souls 1. What happens then, usually, is that I screw myself out of the ring, because for whatever reason, if I die afterwards, or maybe if it follows me down the stairs and dies somewhere around here, because of stairs being incredibly hard to program, I know from my feel with you, then it just vanishes. And it happened to me twice so far that I opened the door real quick because I'm a smart boy and opened the shortcut, then I die to it and then it never returns. And I always think that it probably just kills itself in a random spot and the Aldrich's ruby just doesn't respawn. Which is not fun if you're going for all the rings, but I have already went for all the rings and never won the ruby, so actually I don't care too much. But as usual, hammer solves problems and just kills it. Why doesn't everybody use a hammer then? Sounds OP to me, OP.
Welcome, speak. Then take.
Another level. I'm mostly interested in getting these levels up as far as possible before venturing forth into the DLC again. We'll see how long it takes with main story progression to get there. Mostly because I just want to have the thugs one-handed and give that a try in the icy area, and just to have more weapon options in general than just the hammer. I know the hammer is really fucking good and I like it for how good it is, but I also like variety, and I would definitely like to switch out at some point around now. But on the other hand, if I switch out to anything else at this moment in time, I know that it's just going to feel like 1/3 as powerful, and we can't have that. This is always a bit of a problem I have in pretty much every Dark Souls game, where you focus on one weapon at the start, because that is the smart thing to do. The game has taught you well to do that so far, and I mean, you have played a Dark Souls game before. In Dark Souls 1 I was like, oh, what if I find a better weapon later? And went with +0 or +1 weapons like until Arno Londo. which is a terrible idea. I mean, I got the lightning winged spear or something, which is definitely on a +10 level. Okay, yeah, and I got some others to +10 too, so that's nice, I guess, but it's not adequate to play through the game, not at all. And in the end, I finally caved and upgraded one weapon to +10 again, uh, and but left it at that and had the most trouble with all the bosses, just because I couldn't commit. And it's like, oh, I have so few chunks and I would have to farm them from the Dark Wraiths and I don't wanna. And what if I find something New Game Plus that's better? Never played New Game Plus. You know how it is. Now I'm smarter. I do upgrade a weapon, but that leads to the point where you have only upgrade materials for one weapon. And well, then that weapon is obviously going to be better than all the other weapons. So why would you use another weapon? Whenever you find something better than, just don't use it. And that's terrible, in my opinion. And I don't like it. I've always been a bit of a proponent of the games just having a global upgrade level. Oh, didn't even realize that. I'm very sorry for depriving you of your invasion, Alex. Would have been a good opportunity to hit the fleshy part. Oh, nope, 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 nope. Well, in the first part it is easy. Just run around to the other side. So Aldrich's secret is that he will always come up the opposite side of where you are. And then you have to get there immediately, because you really, really, really do not want to be far away from him when he uses the... Come on. When he uses the arrows, because the arrows are bad and will fuck your shit up. Oh, he still uses the arrows, amazing. So let's just run. This is the secret to the arrows, you run. Nothing else can be done here, just run, don't roll. Never roll against the arrows. Big problem is that you are now far away from him again. And now things start to be a little harder. But we have closed the distance. Everything is okay now again. Stabilize the situation. And run again. Aldrich is just a fight where you have to run, not dodge. Just run. All the time run. Run in circles. Don't try to be coy. Don't try to look for what he's doing. Don't try to stop. Just run. Run. Heal. Die. Whoops. I didn't think that he would do a combo. Oh well. Usually works out better than that. Doesn't matter too much. You can see that I will definitely win this in a relatively short notice, so I'm not afraid. It's not a fight where I think I have too much trouble with. After I figured out the trick, which is just hoofing it. He has never given me too much trouble again. Actually, it's been a while since I died to him. Happens. Again, not too concerned. Always kill these guys just because I don't want them following me, and maybe I get a proof of Concord Cap, which I won't use, but it always feels nice. Also, I still need some equipment parts. I'm pretty sure that I don't have the Silver Knight armor, and the Silver Knight armor is one of my favorites. But for now I won't farm for it, because, you know, still haven't got the Mimic Head. So, my friend. Again, close the distance immediately. You don't want to get hit by his long-range attacks. Maybe I shouldn't spend all my stamina here. Ah, he is getting frostbitten. Very good indeed. 4 hits then. Okay. Ah, this again. The first phase you can just get around because he does... How did I not get hit? Amazing. He does them in a straight line from him. Oh, second phase already. Run again. Towards him, always towards him. He's an elusive fucker this time, isn't he? Again with the running. Now he goes into the melee. Whenever he lifts the staff like that, you want to back away and run to the opposite side of the room to anticipate him. Front save. Back away. Heal. Thank you. And opposite side of the room. Front save. Ah, it's so delayed, I always get hit by it, but fortunately it doesn't do that much damage. Now he's lifted the staff. And I reacted too late, run away. Opposite side of the room. Heal up. Delayed. Wonderful. This time I actually used my heal to delay myself. Will he lift the staff? Yes, he will lift the staff, but I can frostbitten him. Now let's not die to the final part. Uh-oh, he's the other side. Where is he? Oh my god, this is not good. This is very not good. Okay, just run again. Let's die at the end. This is how you usually do it. Ah, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. You know? Okay. Once and... whatever. Come on. Twice. Die! Jesus Christ, that was close. I mean, you never should get greedy, but he usually is very, very slow in acting at all after he has done an attack. So you can probably push it against him. I had hoped for a 2-hit at the end. I think this one is a very nasty surprise. Because we just killed the final Lord of Cinder, so we won't get his bonfire for once. Not that we really need it, but it would be nice if we wanted to farm Dregs of Humanity, which you can directly in front of his boss fight chamber. And, well, there is one more wrinkle to this. Got a bunch of souls from him, which we definitely want to spend on levels. But, you know, come on, you usually load quicker than this. Probably because it's a completely new game state now. Yeah. So anyway, we do get an Ember restored, but I have one more Estus Flask. Amazing. And we get popped out right in front of here, and we really, really do not want to talk to her right now. It's one of the purest moments of bullshit in Dark Souls 3, if I say so myself. Because, well, it's going to start a boss fight immediately if we push on a little too far here, which is something I really, really did not expect the game to do when I came here the first time. And I kept getting surprised by it even a second time, which was really not fun. And you can Homeward Bone out of boss fights, you can even Alt F4 out of boss fights, or manually quit if you have time for that. Oh yeah, I should spend the souls. But not every player knows that, and in the heat of the moment it can be rather daunting, to say the least. Especially when you get thrown into an unfamiliar boss fight for the first time. That is just never fun.
Speak very well, then take nourish.
The Fox needs 50, I'm pretty sure. Yes, yes it does. But is there anything that needs 40 actually? That we could theoretically try out one-handed if you wanted to. I'm just looking at the requirements here. 45. But that is sharing its upgrade material requirements with Warts anyway. Not with Warts, with the Thugs, and I really want to use the Thugs. But maybe a certain great machete. Let's see here. Ugh. Thought it would work. Could have offered the cinders. Ah, whatever. I am incompetent and everybody should know it. Ah yeah, right. Unresort. This finishes that quest line. And there is one more thing. We're gonna check it out in a second. 38. Well, I'm not gonna use the Great Shield, I'm pretty sure, because I already have one that is probably better and more well-rounded in form of the Wolf's Great Shield. And if I want to use one, I might I might just go for the Dragon Slayer Great Shield one, which looks dope. This is an amazing weapon as far as I know. I've never tried it myself. It deals a fuck ton of damage and is just very limited in its moveset. We might try it for a bit. Maybe. Both of these are not for me, the Abyss Watcher ones. This one is obviously nothing for me. I think it's also kind of bad, as far as I remember. Mostly because of the split damage, which is always a crying shame if weapons have that. This one used to be terrible, got buffed. We need nothing of Aldrich, obviously. Not the Life Hunt Scythe and not the Dark Moon Longbow, which also sucks because of the split damage. Great, we could use this at some point, but I don't super feel like it because it's always bad. But I think I'm gonna show it off because it's not like we're going to use the aches. And well, why not? Why not? While we are here. Anything else? Nope. Very probably not. Though it is fun, I think. No, I used the axe before. I haven't tried the hammer yet, but I might at some point. There are still some weapons which I want to give a spin, but from these ones here, definitely not for our build. But there are a lot to try out already. It's the left one. So let's see. Just a quick comparison, actually. It weighs 17. Yorm's weighs even more, 19. Here we go. Normal Great Machete, Yorm's Great Machete. I think they have pretty much the same moveset, which is very limited. It is overhand swing on the R1. It is overhand swing on the R2. Slightly slower, slightly more damaging, obviously. It is overhand swing on the two-handed R1s. And it is overhand swing on the two-handed R2s. Amazing. With the L2, what you do is a war cry, which does actually change the R2. Amazing. Never thought I'd see the day. Yeah, I mean, let's try it at some point. Maybe even for the next area of the game. For the next boss, however, we're going to stick to our guns, I think. Because, you know, going to a freshly non-upgraded weapon, that's probably not a good idea in the long run. Unless you want a long run. Let's take this one, this one. Just gonna buy all of them eventually, but for now I'm just going to go for the options that empty out my souls. This is how I usually handle things. This does delay leveling up, of course it does. But on the other hand, if I die too often to a boss, then I lose the souls completely. I do want the armors eventually anyway, all of them, because this is how I roll on every character. And it's not super urgent, I don't think so. At the end, the levels will come flowing in freely anyway. I usually skip this guy because by now the ranged attacker has been activated, don't want to lose health to him. Let's kill him quick. I did lose health to this guy. Amazing. By the way, has anyone noticed that the sky has kind of changed? This is what I meant with the area state has changed. Open up. Good night. Nope. Never trade with a great hammer. Hasn't your mother taught you this? Also, I should just kill this guy every time because I still haven't gotten the knight's crossbow. Fuck off, my man. Fuck off. Don't need this. Whatever. probably can do it with 9 Estus. See me die at the very end. No Estus remaining.
Prince Lothric is in your hands. Please save his soul.
No, I'm going to use his soul to
Tell
transpose
him
pose a
what
weapon.
he must be. Alor.
I'm gonna tell him using this hammer. Anyway, you can do this immediately after starting the game, more or less, before Ward, which means that you can do this, because when she dies through your hand, she will also give you the Basin of Vows. We're gonna skip it, but you know, then you can fight the dancer immediately, which is fun for the whole family. Have to do this for all of these. Get overpowered before fighting any boss runs, which is, well, it's kind of nonsense because you have to fight her. That's not easy. But I think we got this handled rather well. Though she can still outcombo you rather easily, and she's got a grab attack, which I'm always terrible at predicting. Also, she seems to be rather immune to frostbite, which makes sense because she's rather frosty herself. Also, second weapon. And this is the first time I think I will be able to see this phase without the frame rate dropping into the single digits. Because damn, look at all these fire effects. It looks amazing, but it's not good on your processor. Also, I think she would be harder if she didn't spend half the fight just walking slowly. Which means that you can go ham on her ass, obviously. Did I phrase this correctly? Was a little too overzealous. Well done, Dancer. Great showing, great showing. She can be a problem for sure, because some of these combos, man, they catch you and then you're dead and you don't even realize it. Usually I don't have a super great issue. Everything okay? Okay. With her, just because you can get a lot of damage in even with a less damaging weapon than the hammer. Maybe especially with a less damaging weapon but faster weapon. Because, as I said, you can just go ham on her ass while she's running around, basically making the entire first phase, unless you get grabbed inadvertently, which can really easily instant kill you if you're low on health. Like gotten hit once, then it's not an instant kill, I know, but you know, you will die rather quickly from that comparison to her normal attacks, which usually tickle. It must be the split damage. But this means that you can get to the second phase rather easily and practice on that, which is harder, of course, but even there she has some very, very clean and easy openings, which I appreciate. Don't like it if you have to basically fight for every single hit against the boss. And wouldn't you look at that, you can buy her armor, very nice. Though we have 14k, so let's buy something for 2 times 7. The dancer's armor also looks absolutely amazing. We'll probably give it a spin later on. But I got so much shit to buy right now, and as I said, I'd prefer to empty out the souls beforehand. Let's go on, shall we? Because everything is going rather smoothly right now, and I'm definitely feeling the need for kill. What we are also going to do right now is just test out in this wonderful, wonderful background of nothingness here, now that it's dark, some of our new weapons, just to see the movesets. This one, for example. It could be amazing. Really, it could be amazing. Though, to be quite fair, when I first saw these punches, I thought that they are rather anemic. The R2 too. I mean, it could be a little more panache behind them, I think. If you two-hand them, obviously, it looks super amazing. The L1s have a bit more punch to them. obviously a combo which you don't want to get caught in when it's rather easy to get caught in it. But I mean, the main selling point of any weapon is the L2, and I would probably demonstrate it actually on some, um, okay, on some easier enemies, at least for this part of the game. It's this, and as you can probably tell, it's rather underwhelming now, isn't it? You can extend the combo if you keep the L2 pressed, if you just press the L2 down, I think. I didn't actually know that before I read up on it. Yeah, you just don't press anything. And then if you catch something in the combo, then they're gonna have a better time, worse time. Like so, yeah, and then at some point you have to press R2 to end it. Yeah, but I think I'm out of blue. See here? Gonna waste this ammo. Come on! What the fuck is going on with these doors? Anyway. This is the full combo. Okay. Looks impressive. Deals absolutely no damage. This is one of the most disappointing weapons in the entire game for me. Because it's a boss weapon, so it's about the equivalent of a +2 normal weapon. It should deal good damage against these guys. What's going on? Why are they stuttering? I don't know. But it just, the damage just isn't there. Look at this, it's pathetic, and I didn't even connect with the fire plume, and I don't know why. This is the normal R1, it's 80 damage, amazing. Now let's get the R2 one combo going, 75. I mean, it's nice, sure, it's nice, but you could also use a Cestus for the same effect and don't have to deal with the fucking damage reduction because of the split damage. I like split damage weapons. I really like weapons that have innate fire on them, for example, for burning up foes and stuff like that. But this is garbage and I demand more damage from it. I don't have the EE scaling in any way, obviously. But even with that, you will never get good damage out of this, and it's an absolute crying shame. And you should just use the Cestus. It's far less heavy. You will have far better scaling from it, and you shouldn't use the Fire Fists. I mean, you can. I probably will at some point just make a Fire Fist character where I force myself to never take them off. But good lord, is it hard to commit to them because it's just not fun. Most of the time it's just not fun. I'm super sad about it. This one here is an interesting one because it has no scaling on the fire part, but it does have a fiery attack, if I remember correctly, which would be its L2. Like that. If you go from the stomp to an R2, then you will ignite it using this, and it looks amazing. I'm not super sure about the damage. I haven't tried it yet. It might be great, it might be terrible. I have no idea how it ranks. Other than that, it is basically just an ultra great sword, which is fine. It has a good stab, it has a good swing, it is one-handed, as well rounded as two-handed. This is the one-hand R2 is an overhead swing, the two-hand R2 is a stab, so you basically have everything you want. The buff lasts for a good long while. You don't need any casting stats, so it's probably a pretty good weapon, but I am not super into swords unless they are absolutely ridiculous for this run. Which is why I'm using the thugs, and I'm not going to use that. Anyway, let's just finally do this, which you could have done in the first place and just avoided the boss fight, I'm pretty sure. I like watching this animation because it's so ridiculous. See, this guy knows how to handle a sword. It seems like slicing would be a little easier than just pushing it in, but I don't know. And people talk about the decapitation motif all the time here, but You know he's not actually decapitated. He probably just pierced his jugular or something. Also, this is the weirdest way to open anything, and I've been super underwhelmed the very first time I did this because it just lowers a ladder. Like, bind a shot tail to a piece of string and pull it down, man. You don't have to be so over dramatic. Anyway, oh yeah, I wanted to use Yorm's great machete. It's probably a bad idea to use it against these enemies because these enemies are major sons of bitches. But I have never been known for my great decision-making abilities. Actually, let's not go here. I wanted to go somewhere else first. We can overlook that, but if you check out here, and you will find that this is actually a dead end and you're sad. But if you go the other way, there is actually a rather sizable, completely optional area here, which has a bunch of goodies, which is why we're going to explore it first. Very secret, my friend, very secret. Sound bodes well. Damage initially is okay. Oh my god, why is this so bad? I used this war cry to make the weapon better, not worse. Have I mentioned yet that I really don't like fighting these guys too much? Because, you know, they block everything and it's annoying. Oh yeah, and also I'm out of stamina for the combo. Seems like to really utilize the combo I would need a bit more of it. Also I would need an enemy that doesn't block all the fucking time. Yeah, I don't know, I mean, it's a fun idea to do this R2 combo here. Full string, but that leaves you with practically no stamina, and if you do it after a dodge then it's not a super idea. I think this one is popular in PvP because when you fully upgrade it then its R1 damage is completely out of this world, and you can basically one-hit people with it because it combos with itself. So you just, like with the hammer, I mean, you've seen that if I R1 one guy, then he's usually staggered enough for long enough that I hit him another time, and that is usually enough to kill people outright because they get frostbitten instantly. Yorm's is that without the frostbite, but with more damage, if you can believe it, at least from the videos I've seen. But this elevator, by the way, is the most suspicious thing I've ever seen. And, you know, very obviously you should just get out early. Anyway, but I personally find that this is absolutely boring if you don't use the L2, and if you do use the L2, then people in PvP will laugh at you for committing to a combo that starts with such a weak attack. So anyway, a Titanite chunk, and there is going to be more of them, and an Estus Flask Shard up there are really, really good prizes, I think. Now let's see here if we can't do something ranged against these guys because they are insane assholes. Ugh, I can't, can I? Let's see here. Maybe I will just die quickly and then run through them or something. This swamp, by the way, it's toxic. Ah, you can frostbite. That's very nice. That was rather painless. Oh, obviously I wanted this. Okay. The drop lot shards, amazing. Yeah, so I really don't like fighting the passive man, which these guys are. And even though you can do it with firebombs and stuff, you usually still won't have enough damage, unless you use the hammer, to get them down from their stun state. And if they do get to do something, then you're usually gonna have a really bad... How did I smash him down with the R1? I don't know, but I got his shield now. Great. There's like 3 passes of men down here, right? Really don't want them sneaking up on me, which is a funny thing to say about a gigantic lumbering mass of blackness, but here we are, I guess. Amazing. Really worth it. 10 out of 10 would get again. I really have never used one of these in Dark Souls 3. I use them occasionally in Dark Souls 1 if I'm getting nervous. Dark Souls 2 vanilla, I use them all the fucking time because you could repair them. And whenever you had 6,000 souls, then you could just pop them on because it will cost 6,000 to repair. So everything above you would always keep, which is insanely nice. I think I will just get toxic here. Laws, shadow cells. Ow, black fire bombs. I could use these. I have used these. Human pine resin. Great. Amazing. Let's never fight these assholes again. But yeah, toxic swamp. So I need the bud. I got enough of them. Blooming moss clump, I guess. I was under the impression that somewhere here would be the mannequin guy, mannequin claw wielding guy's set, but there are the 2 passes of men. Might be wrong though. Might have to look it up again. Anyway, just gonna ignore you if you don't mind. Because there is a rather obvious entrance here, which nevertheless people tend to miss. Will you follow me in there? I don't think so. I hope so. And, whoops. Serves me right for assuming, I guess. Please don't kill me. Wonderful. And this way we get an elevator, which obviously tends to be a shortcut of sorts, because, you know, I've played these games before. I've played this game before, but don't tell anybody. Actually, I'm going to load up blue, because, you know, there is annoying ranged guys here. Oh, this is very useful. Oh yeah, you, huh? Over stomping me. Was that the ranged guy himself? I don't know. What I do know, however, is that these guys here, they be buffing. And if I didn't take care of this guy so quickly, there's another one, is there always another one, then I would have a harder time. No, fuck off. Because these buffed enemies can deal a lot of damage. Almost. Fortunately, I have a hammer. Oh no. Still a bit lacking in the backstab department, but otherwise pretty satisfactory, I would say. As you can see, starting from this point, we have reached not quite the end game, though I guess in some ways it qualifies, depending on how many optional areas you want to do. And this means that the game is finally not being stingy with chunks anymore, which also means that we can probably upgrade our javelin a bit more. I haven't used it too much recently, but I like having a quick fallback weapon. Might be fun against 1 or 2 bosses, where the hammer might fail me. I don't know. We're going to see. It's probably not ever going to fail me. It's my waifu. But just to have a ranged option available, the spear is for sure a very, very good item. Now let's get back down there. I'm just gonna finish out this, make today a definite 3-boss extravaganza. Maybe 1 or 2 more extra things. I want to check something in Firelink, lest I forget. So if you kill these guys real quick... Wow. Ah, they have buffed themselves, obviously. This is why they weren't 1-hits before. See? Very powerful. But if you do that, then you can come from... How is he not dead? Ah, because it was a rolling attack. Right. Those are weak. It's a lot of damage. And 1 more. Okay. So, enough fun here. And yeah, this is a shortcut, very nice and very easy. Many people miss it. It's not distance-wise, it's not much of a shortcut, to be fair, but in terms of what it gives you to not have to deal with the pass of men, I would say it definitely qualifies. Also, there is another bit of fuckery here if I can actually get my particle effects out of the way, which is the same trick again, but I actually kind of like that. The only thing it does mean is that I cannot send up the lift again, but that is a very short lever pull, and it means not having to deal with Pass of Men, which is amazing. What does this actually do? I keep forgetting. It's semi-useful, I think. Reduces damage for backstabs. Okay, it's not useful at all. Wonderful. And this guy here, you can only reach him like that, and if you don't kill him like that, then he will buff these dudes down here, and then you're gonna have a really, really bad time. Which is why probably the best course of action for this part of the area is to just run past them. Let's be real here. What I'm going to do now is get these items here though, which I have seen before. Oh my god, he's seen me. All cool, risking my life for more pine resin, amazing. He's not bad or anything, but let's just say I never use these because I'm lazy. Ah, not poison. So, pretty sure he can just hit through the ground here, but he probably cannot reach me up here. Okay, good. Anything else down there? I'm not super sure. Whoops. Well, nothing down there. Let's just scram. Okay, this is how you would do things. Like I like this detail here because it's collapsed, but it shows that there would have been a normal way instead of going over the roof and jumping out of the elevator up there. But there is not. So, well, is that an NPC sign? Oh, really? I didn't even know that you could summon him here. Or did I? I think I might have done it at some point, but then always ignored him because, frankly, I personally don't have problems with the next boss. I know some people do, but it's always been exceedingly easy for me. But it's for... I fully respect if you have problems with bosses. There is always this one boss which will give someone trouble, and another guy says that it's a complete joke, and then there is another boss where you just cannot deal with. And someone else says like, well, this was no problem for me, and might be the same person, might be not, you know, it's just this is Dark Souls for you. Yeah, just never stagger, that's fine by me. It's annoying that you cannot predict that, I think. It's really annoying. For some reason this guy has the magic stone plate ring, which is always a fun thing to realize that you have not gotten if you want to get all rings. I mean, it's like the very first time I did get it, and I was like, oh cool, he has a ring, but do I remember this like 70 hours later when I do my actual ring collection? No, I don't. Anyway, someone is screeching madly and it has to stop. Ocelot. Let's see how he deals with cold. So I got an insane strategy for this. Strategy is get here and start hitting him. Then you die against this. Okay, cool.
Are you hiding from me? Come out. Come out. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, in the Drake Taint.
What could you possibly fear? Now. Show yourself, Ocelot.
I mean, it's a bit cliche to say you kill bosses in Dark Souls by hugging their grundles, as certain Let's Player would put it, but it's super true for him, and wow, he is definitely susceptible to frostbite, isn't he? And as you can see, if you just stay here and hit his oversized nutsack, then there is little he can do. And people complain about his charge coming out instantly and having too high of a hitbox or whatever. If you stay there, where this nutsack looking thing is, the base of his tail, matters. Just doesn't happen. Okay, this one maybe. But I mean, he did get away. Stop being such a twitchy motherfucker. Oh, there it is. Okay. But I mean, this is usually for people who do New Game Plus, not New Game Plus, so level 1 runs. They have a problem with the charge. Ah yeah, if he does that, it's just free damage. Also, if you consistently try to get him into, try to get behind him and he keeps backing away, ugh, I will die now. Of course I will die now. Just because I had to open my big mouth and say that he's usually not a big problem for me. But yeah, if you get behind him, try to get behind him all the time, then he will keep jumping backwards and sometimes he ends up in a wall. And that's really funny then because he keeps floating above the air. It just is super weird. It's not a good boss in my opinion. For reasons other people have problem with him, I accept that. I understand that the charge comes out a bit too quick to be real fair in many people's opinion. And oh, he fell. Great. This guy here, come on, come down. And it's not really fun to fight either, just in general. For you could just see that it's just a mess in many ways. Where he's just jumping around everywhere and sometimes you don't know where he is, and then a stray hit comes from somewhere, his tail swings around all the time and it's just ugh, get it over with, man, get it over with. And also if you're doing a magic run, which otherwise is super easy mode, he might give you a lot of trouble because he has a lot of magic resistance, so that's also fun. I might actually try going for the spear this time, which is I was fiddling around a bit with it before, just because, well, it stabs quicker and when he's jumping around all the time in the end, then it might be a good idea to abuse that with a fast weapon. You can also, of course, always do this, send it up once more and then jump off like so, and after that you can just run. It's a little slow, but there are worse boss runs. Logarius. Not in this game, though. I mean, there are worse boss runs in this game, but Logarius is not in this game. Let's see how the spear does, but I won't change equipment too much, because if it turns out to be garbage, then I can just quickly switch back. Don't drop it, man. Door stuck. This is how you do the boss run. Easy enough. No, R1 time, but with a faster weapon. That's decent, I guess, but this is better. Especially now that we confirmed that you can, in fact, frostbite him. Yep. Sometimes you can pass between his legs and sometimes he won't let you. Very rude, I think. Just quickly get these. Oh, it's already 22 already. Amazing. Now that I said I never had a problem with a charge, of course he does it all the fucking time. Good thing he still can't hit anything. What the fuck was that? Ugh. I guess third time's the charm. It is the kind of boss where I never really bothered to learn his tells much, because usually I could just, as I said, sit in his grundle and obliterate him that way. I don't know what the exact problem is this time, but I almost did it the first time, so I guess I think I brought the message across relatively easily how it could have happened. and has happened to me before. But this is also one of the big reasons why people say, okay, this boss was actually super easy for me. Maybe for them it happened like it did for me the first time, where you could just hang out inside him, more or less, and I had enough health, especially Ember, to tank enough of his attacks. And then he just doesn't do the combo that kills me at the end. He just doesn't do one of his charges which damages me and I have to heal and heal at the wrong time, whatever. I finish off the remaining 1/4 of his health bar and that's it. And then I say, okay, well, this was a super easy boss. I don't know why people have any trouble with it. But this one try with a weapon which works really well for this, with a health bar that is high enough, is not representative. When someone comes in here with just maybe 5 vitality less, gets severely damaged by some of his moves, which I just kind of shrug off, then it's a completely different question, you know? It's just not easily comparable at all then.
Where have you gone? Are you hiding from me? Come out. Come out. Don't be afraid. You are born a child of dragons. How could you possibly fear? Now, show yourself, Ocelot. My dear little Ocelot.
So I really think you should get something if you hit him in the tail enough. Like, cut it off, you know? Most of these moves, to be quite honest, are just a little annoying because they don't deal that much damage, but they always knock you on your ass. And this one here is also super pathetic. If you have a full stamina bar and he just charges into the wall like that, and that can absolutely easily happen if you just stay behind him all the time and he corners himself basically, yeah, like that, charges above you, then you basically abuse the geometry against him, and this is exactly how it usually goes. And this is why I think he's kind of an easy boss. If you just stay on him, then especially in his final phase, he will just kill himself for you. He will just run into a wall over and over again, and his fearsome charge works 1000% against him. And this is usually my experience with him, and it just goes to illustrate how different these kind of boss experiences can be, and how easily you can fall into the trap of saying, ah, this boss is super easy. I don't know why you would even have any problems with it. You must be the baby he's holding, and don't do that. I know that nobody will get this message because I get maybe 10 views. Maybe we can do it this time. I'm not salty, it's fine. But you just should not ever say like, this is objectively an easy boss and nobody should ever have any trouble, or people should feel bad because they can't beat this in one try or whatever. Everyone has problems in different areas, and it is fine to struggle. It is fine to have difficulty, and it is good to overcome difficulty in the end. And this is what people should strive for, to have these shared experiences of, man, this was fucking hard. And well, actually, for me it was rather easy, but I'm glad that you overcame it. I'm glad that you had fun. What's this, by the way? Ah, there it is. Okay, cool. So this is what you get for having the pale shade invade you twice. Completely forgot about that, but it's good that it shows the wrong side to fall down. I actually wanted to check Irina. No, not here. Obviously not here. Hello, Carla. I will ignore you for the rest of the game, probably. Because, I mean, we advanced the game state, and there we have it. She's gone. Wonderful. I just checked the wiki again, and obviously the second Dark Tome I was thinking of, I mean it exists, but it's in the inventory of an NPC we never saw because we pissed her off screen by killing Yoel. Yes, and this causes Yuria to never show up, which is what happened for us. Did you get a bone shard? No, but we did get an Estus shard later though. And if we give Irina one tome, just one of them, then of the Dark Tomes, and buy any Dark Miracle, and don't do a certain other step in her quest line, which is, I think, buying all the Light Miracles she has, though you can't do that because one of them is in Lothric Castle. I think if you do it right now, then you can save her still, but
very clear.
listen, I have no idea. This quest makes no fucking sense.
Only as long as you assured the girl's safety. This Knight of Karim does not forgive betrayal.
Also, yeah, how would you know that they are here now? This makes no fucking sense. Like, these are not characters that are at all associated with this area. Come on, man. Don't do this against another hammer user. Wow. Man, you fucking suck, Egan. You fucking suck. Anyway, another great hammer. Awesome! But for faith users, not awesome. Anyway, now let's do this, which is also super obscure.
Who is there?
Hey, it's me, your friend.
Is someone there? Anyone?
Listen, lady, you're blind, not deaf. I think it's implied that I can
Oh,
talk.
sweet champion. Where have you been? Please, your touch. The little creatures, how they nip.
She
and
said
bite.
that in filing too, by the way. Boop. And yeah, this sends her back, I think. And she assumes it's Egan, not? There is one more thing we can do, I think. Which is, again, super obscure, but it's just how this game rolls, I guess. Now let's think. What do you do to save her again, and at what point? Ugh, I don't really remember. You can get her to give back the dark books, I think.
Please, the little creep. You know, in my eye, though, but if I... Oh, terrible.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if you now buy all the light miracles, then you can do it and let her give back the dark ones. I think it's that. And one more thing is...
Please, I am frightened.
yeah, whatever. If you touch her using Morn's gloves, which we... Oh yeah, we have to buy, obviously, because he doesn't drop his armor. Then you can... So Egon's armor, if you buy the gloves, and only the gloves, and then touch her with the gloves, then she has a different response because she thinks it's Egon, because apparently when he touches a woman gently he is sworn to protect with his life, then he doesn't take his fucking gloves off and just slaps a hunk of black metal in her face, like all good gentlemen do. Deserves what I did to him.
That is good, wasn't he?
So yeah, let's finish off this then. We want a bigger javelin. Wonderful. How much more? This is so fucking bad, man. I hate it so much. We could actually upgrade the thugs to full because you get a lot of Twinkling Titanites in this game, which is a weird balance. But we're going to press on a little bit more, I think, to get to an area where you can get actually the desired Titanite skills, because I'm quite enamored with the hammer right now and I don't see any other boss weapon being nearly as enticing. So that's nice. Yeah, it's also something which speaks against Demon's Fist, of course. You need Titanite skills for those. And yeah, it doesn't really do much for you, does it now? Want to try Smo's hammer at some point. I mean, I do have the strength to one-hand it, so you know what, let's just do it quickly. Just for a bit. this next part. It's, of course, it's too heavy. How much does it weigh? 24! Good Christ! We're just gonna, you know, do this for a second. Wonderful. And yeah, we have business at the end of... No, not here. Of course in Lothric Castle. Here, this is also why there are only 3 bonfires up here. There are more later on. Because there is an obvious door behind Oceiros, and we have to take that. It has been a persistent problem, I guess, since Dark Souls 1, that Smith's hammer is so big that it obstructs your vision a lot, but I love it, it's great. I mean, sometimes you just have to deal with the hammer being insanely big. It's just what you do. I like this small area here, because you get basically an introduction to this foe. It's like, what the fuck is this guy doing? What is his deal? And he can be kind of tough if you don't have a hammer, but we're going to see far more of him later on. What does actually the L2 do? Oh, it's just a stop. Oh yeah, does it always do that? It always does that. Amazing. Actually, that's really fun. It's definitely far better R2, just looks-wise, than the Waltz Hammer one is. But yeah, what we really want is this gesture here. What we really want is this gesture. But then there is more, obviously. Here, is it a mimic? No, it's not. You know, no question mark. Another Titan scale, amazing. But then this can't be all, right? Right? Right. This might be a little too obscure. Personally, I found it myself, so I can't really say if it is too obscure or not. It is a bit suspicious that those daisies here don't, is that the right word? Don't know, don't continue. And it is a bit reminiscent of the Great Hollow Chest, where it's just like, is that all? Can that really be all? And of course you have the ground messages where you can just check if they want to bamboozle you or not. It's just like, whatever. This one is some mandatory fall damage. Maybe you can go over there. I don't know. But anyway, just want to tag this bonfire. We're gonna deal with this area later too. For now, I just want to have that done, and Path of the Dragon. One more thing before I forget that. We want to go here. Because, you know, we got a gift from Anri, a final one. And there is one more thing we can do with him. Again, without any rhyme or reason as to the positioning, and as far as I know, there is no reward to what I'm about to do, except some kind of closure, I guess, but it's super hollow, he says, with a grin on his face. Where is it? Here, I think. Fall down and circle around, yeah. And I don't quite get it, but that's Dark Souls 3 side quests for you. Let's just end this episode with you know, the general statement that these make no fucking sense. So yeah, Anri is here. He has turned hollow, and now we have to put him down like a dog using a hammer, because that's what you do with dogs, apparently. Almost. I'm so sorry, Anri. So yeah, what you get is 1,100 souls and a big fat load of nothing. And I have no idea. I don't know what the fuck the point is of Anri being here after all the shit we went through. They fulfilled their quest, they killed Aldrich, they got their revenge for the childhood abuse or whatever the fuck the law says about them. And that's it then. That's it. You just kill them because then they go hollow, because they don't have any purpose, The end. No moral. I don't like it. It just makes no sense to me on a very fundamental level. If you got something like for discovering that they are there, and then it's like, oh my, I didn't think of checking back here, but cool. Now I got a cool thing for discovering Anri here. That would be cool. Like an armor set, maybe. You know, just a mechanical reason to care. But there is none. It's just like, this is by the way where Anri is. You wanted something out of this, you don't get something out of this. It's just like, they're dead now. Through your hand. Feel bad, okay? You do feel bad, right? Because it connected so deeply to them. Maybe next time you can marry them and fucking kill them. I don't know. I wanted to check back here because I'm pretty sure that I missed a crystal lizard. This is how you get overpowered fast videos have shown me that there's actually 2 of them here. But either I activated them already or I am super wrong. I think the very first one I saw here killed itself for me, and then I thought, cool, that's very nice of you, 1 crystal lizard to kill yourself, and never bothered to check for a second one. You know what? I'm just going to quit out and see if I find a crystal lizard then, but you don't have to watch me go through these 2 loading screens. For now, this was another smashing end of the episode. You know, this is a really fun weapon too. It doesn't have the frostbite, but it probably also deals a sick amount of damage if you upgrade it. If you want me to use this because you think it would be hilarious and great fun to watch, tell me. I'm not married to the idea of spending all my twinks on the thugs because maybe I just don't like it anyway because it's just a sword. And hammer is cool. Hammer is fun. Hammer is life. If I don't get any comments, well then I'll just do whatever the fuck I want. It's fine. I love all of you guys. Thank you very much for your attention.